Prabhu, Varun Prabhu, Anil Prabhu, Nagar Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you for
Krishna.
joining.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Am-
Sam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Amaga Prabhu, would you like to do English Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think Nagaraj Prabhuji would like to volunteer, it seems.
Oh, yeah, Nagar Prabhu.
Okay,
Would you
I
want to
can
do?
do. Yeah, please, I'll go and try. Yes.
Yeah, Nagar Prabhu, go ahead.
Yep.
Would you want to just
Om
read this one? I'm just kept it over here as well. You can refer to this one.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatatam Saham Gana Raghunanvitam Tvam Swajivam Sadvaitam Swadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vistamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधा वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चातारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. It was wonderful. Um, Yeah, and I think for devotees, Ajay Prabhu, Varun Prabhu, and all of him. I mean, if you need this Mangalacharan prayers, we normally do the invocation prayers. It really helps us in a spiritual life. So in case you need it, also we can post it in the WhatsApp group. But yeah, it's nice to know the prayers, and when you feel comfortable, it will be nice to even take part as well. Anil Prabhu and Ashwin Prabhu and everyone,
Sure. Thank you very much, Sam Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please share with us.
Yeah, we'll put it on
Yeah,
the WhatsApp group, Prabhuji.
yeah.
Yeah, it will be
Thank you.
really nice.
Yeah,
Actually, these are all very, very auspicious to even do those prayers. Um, and also, I will kind of like I'll do we'll do a bit of kirtan and we will directly go into the book reading. First, we'll do Jai Radha Madhava. जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So with all your permission, we will go dive into the chapter number 51. It's quite a long chapter actually. And before we start the chapter, let's invoke our prayers to Krishna Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. As Bhagwan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, before we start the Krishna Katha, we always remember what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoviti tapitaha chakpadeham punarjanma naiti mamiti suarjana. Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling that one who's listening to Krishna Katha, one who understands the divine leelas of Krishna's pastimes, we normally say birthday, but when it comes to Krishna's, we say the appearance day of Krishna, because just like the sun appears and disappears, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is always there, but he appears on this material planet for some time. And during this time, there's so many beautiful leelas that have been done by Krishna. We can never try to understand Krishna's on the material platform. And that's the reason we can enjoy the nectar of Krishna Katha when we elevate ourselves to the spiritual platform, to the platform of Krishna consciousness. And that's the reason, just like how we had to, when we're driving, we need the wheels, we need the clutch, we need the brakes, we need everything. Similarly, to practicing Krishna Bhakti also, all these things should go hand in hand with the sense that we should read the Krishna Katha, which will help us develop this personal relationship with Krishna. We'll be able to understand the mood of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. At the same time, when we chant the holy name of Krishna, it will cheto darpana marjana, which will cleanse our heart and it will cleanse our mind. So then we will be able to understand the real essence of Krishna Bhakti. So on one hand, we should be chanting our holy names of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And we should pray to Radharani and Bhagavan Sri Krishna to give us this knowledge to understand Krishna, and at the same time, listen to Krishna Katha, which will once again help us in our chanting. In the mood of chanting gets better when we listen to Krishna Katha, because we kind of understand how great Krishna is. We understand how loving Krishna is. And in that mood, we'll be able to chant much, much more better. So all these things, chanting helps Krishna Katha and Krishna Katha helps in chanting as well. And in the same way, we can understand Bhagavad Gita as well. So Krishna is so kind that he's kind of like giving all these divine pastimes for us to understand our personal relationship with Krishna. Today is the Independence Day in India, but Prabhupada used to say that the real independence is coming out of the clutches of this material nature, because the material nature, we are under the influence of the material nature, which is keeping us like puppets in this material world. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara vimudartha kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, under the influence of false ego, thinks that he is doing all the activities, which in actuality are done by the three modes of material nature. So these three gunas of Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna, these three gunas are constantly making us dangle like puppets. That's the reason why you can see the beautiful picture where like we are all being handled like puppets in the hands of the material nature. But this material nature is in the hands of Krishna. So when we take to the lotus feet of Krishna, then we will be able to come out of these clutches of this material nature. Mamcha yoga bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna says the one and only way we can come out of these clutches of this material energy, the one and only way we can come out of the clutches of Maya in this material world is by taking to Krishna Bhakti. That's the only one and only solution how we can transcend above these three modes of material nature. So on the Independence Day in India, we should start with that to understand is the real independence is when we are freed from these clutches of the material nature, and that will happen when we take him to the lotus feet of Bhagavan of Radha Gokulananda. So chapter number 51, this is, as I said, it's a long chapter. It's a beautiful chapter. Again, I used to see this beautiful picture of Krishna, and here you can see how Krishna with his four-armed Narayana form, such a beautiful form. I used to really always like this, like seeing this picture, as you can see over here. But then at the same time, you can see like how Krishna is always responding to his devotees, even though this devotee has forgotten who Krishna is in this life. Krishna remembered his devotee from his previous life, and in this life he gave him darshan. So we are getting into that beautiful chapter. So just a quick recap, we've seen that how Krishna was always protecting the people of Mathura, and how when Kalayavana came to attack the city of Mathura, we've seen how Krishna has just walked out of the city. He created a new city called Dwaraka, and he transferred all the people of Mathura to the city of Dwaraka. And now he's facing Kalayavana by just walking without even having an arms in his hand or even a chariot, and just he walks away, and then he leads Kalyavana starts chasing Krishna, and Krishna finally takes him, and he gets into a cave, and we seen that how when Kalayavana he sees some man sleeping over there and thinking maybe it's Krishna who's actually sleeping over there, and he kicks that man, and that man who's been actually blessed, who's been given a benediction that he can go and sleep for such a long time, and suddenly when his sleep has been disturbed, and he goes and just opens his eyes, and by just opening the eyes of this person called Muchukunda, just by opening his eyes, he burns Kalayavana to ashes. So we can see that this has happened, and we get to know through this chapter, which we covered in the last week, that this person actually belongs to the Ikshvaku dynasty. And Ikshvaku dynasty is very interesting because Bhagavad Gita was actually first explained to um, Vivaswan. Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manur Ikvake Bravit. First Bhagavad Gita was spoken to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan passed it on to Manu. And Manu passed on this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Ikwaku, the Raghurama dynasty. And that's the dynasty that Muchukunda belongs to. And Lord Ramchandra was born as well. And he was the son of a great king called Mandata. And he was being gifted this benediction by Kartikeya, the chief of all the demigods. So he given this benediction to this man called Muchikonda, who was actually sleeping in the cave. He gave them a benediction that you can go and sleep, because this is the request that Muchikonda had. It's very interesting. Normally, when the demigods come and give you a benediction, you would ask for anything, right? You can ask for anything. But here, Muchikonda was so tired of fighting for the demigods that he requested Kartikeya, "Can you please give me this benediction that I just wanted to just go and sleep because I'm so tired." And now you can see that. See, he says, "I want to sleep now, and I want you to grant me this power to burn to ashes any man who's going to disturb my sleep." Right? And this is exactly happened. What Krishna planned is he appeared between Muchukund, and then so what Krishna did, he entered into the cave, and he just took one side to the cave, and in the meanwhile, Kalayavana, the demoniac king, kicks Muchukunda, and in the process he gets burnt. And now Muchikonda suddenly opens his eyes and then he sees Krishna, the beautiful form of Krishna, and appearing in a four-hand Narayana form with the garland of Vaijanti hanging from his neck down to his knees, and he could see the beautiful. And then you can see that Muchikonda was actually trying to inquire from him, "Who are you? Are you some, prenoming deity from another planet and things like that?" So, and he was so eager because Muchikonda was he's just gotten up from his sleep, and then suddenly he sees this beautiful form of Narayana form. And then so and he's kind of like very curious, who's this person? And he's asking like, what's your parentage and all this. And uh, then not only that, then Muchukunda understands the etiquette that first of all he should explain about himself. So um, so he kind of tells Krishna. I think we covered last week. We covered quite some of these paragraphs. So I'm just kind of just start from where we left off. Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
So
Prabhuji. Are you sharing the screen, Prabhuji? Because it's
yes.
still in Mangalacharan,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Prabhuji.
Let me. I thought I was actually sharing, and I thought you were actually seeing this one. Apologies for that, Prabhuji. Let me see. Can you please let me know if you're able to see now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good that you told me, Prabhuji. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. I was under because I think it's created it's just captured that particular slide of the Mangalacharan prayer.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Um, so here, Muchukunda, we stopped actually over here, where Muchukunda was kind of like asking all the questions, and he understood that maybe he had to introduce himself. So he told Krishna, "My dear Lord, let me first inform me about his identity, because people out there in those days also they were very spiritual and they had the spiritual etiquettes as well. So here he understands before it that he expect Krishna to answer. He's introducing himself that he belongs to this King Ikwaku dynasty and who's his father and what's his name, Mandata. And his father was Mandata and things like that. So he's explaining all these things. And he told him the reason why he was sleeping also to revive my energy. I was taking rest in a solitary cave for which and due to the offensive act that some person has kicked him, he has burned that person to ashes simply by glancing at him. So he's explained all these things. So now we can see that Krishna is now we understand. So now he's asking so Krishna's because we had to understand that people talk of Brahman, the effulgence, the Brahman effulgence, but that is all coming from Krishna. So the thing is, a lot of people they think that okay, there is a Brahman, and from there originally there was no gods, and then from the Brahman we had gods coming up like Krishna and Rama. But that's not true actually. According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the basis for the impersonal Brahman. Brahmane hi pratistaham amritasya vyayasya cha sashvatasya hi dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya cha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells that in Bhagavad Gita in the 14th chapter in the last verse itself that I am the basis for the impersonal Brahman, right? So we have to understand that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is a person and from whom this Brahma thing has originated from. So Sri Muchikonda very eager to understand about his identity. Lord Krishna is now answering as follows. Can I request any devotees? Let's take part in just reading out this paragraph. So it's beautiful. Vrindavan Das Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I was thinking about you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yes,
Carry on.
anyone would like to?
Can I? Prabhu?
Yes, Ajay Prabhu, yeah, please go ahead.
Seeing King Muchkunda eager to know about his identity, Lord Krishna answered seemingly as follows: My dear king, it is practically impossible to tell about my birth, appearance, disappearance, and activities. Perhaps you know that my incarnation Anantadeva has unlimited mouths, and for an unlimited time he has been trying to narrate fully about my name, fame, qualities, activities, appearance, disappearance, and incarnations. But still he has not been able to finish. Therefore, it is not possible to know exactly how many names and forms I possess. It may be possible for a material scientist to estimate the number of atomic particles which make up this earthly planet, but scientists cannot enumerate my unlimited names, forms, and activities. Many great sages and saintly persons have tried to list my different forms and activities, yet they have failed to make a complete list. But since you are so eager to know about me, I may inform you that I have now appeared on this planet just to un- annihilate the demoniac principles of the people in the general and re-establish the religious principles and enjoyed in the Vedas. I have been invited for this purpose by Brahma, the superintending deity of this universe, and thus I have now appeared in the dynasty of Yadus as one of their family members. I have specifically taken my birth as the son of Vasudeva in the Yadu dynasty, and people therefore know me as Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. You may also know that I have killed Kans, who in previous life was known as Kalneni, as well as Pralambasura and many other demons. They have acted my enemies, and I have killed them. The demon who was present before you also acted as my enemy, and you have very kindly burned him to ashes by glancing over him. My dear King Machkunda, you are my great devotee, and just to show you my causeless mercy, I have appeared in this cave. I am very affectionately inclined toward my devotees, and in your previous life, before your present condition, you acted as my great devotee and prayed for my causeless mercy. I have therefore come to see you to fulfill your desire. Now you can see me to your heart's content. My dear king, now you may ask from me any benediction you wish, and I am prepared to fulfill your desire. It is my eternal principle that anyone who comes under my shelter must have all his desires fulfilled by my grace.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare
Prabhu. That's wonderful. Very nice. So the nectar keeps flowing, right? So beautiful.
Krishna.
So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, there's so many beautiful things which are coming to my mind actually. So, the Krishnas, like I always say, Krishna Katha, we can understand, Bhagavad Gita, we can understand much, much better when we understand Krishna Katha, because we'll be able to relate and we'll be able to understand Krishna about Krishna. And Krishna says, right, it is practically impossible to understand Krishna's expansion, but Prabhupada, we are so fortunate that we have a spiritual master like Prabhupada, who has actually for this modern world, like, for our minds, we sometimes like, spiritual topics can be like so kind of like, um, in such a way, complex way that we may find it very difficult to understand. But Prabhupada has explained so nicely that all of us will be able to relate to and we'll be able to understand it in a very, very simple and easy way. And we all know that Radharani for Krishna, the expansion on the left hand side from Krishna is Radharani, and the right hand side, the expansion is Balaram. And from Balaram, the expansion happens Sankarsana. And like that, there is so many numerous planetary expansions that happen from Bhagwan Sri Krishna. And then a lot of people get confused, especially in our own Sanatan Dharma, like the relationship between Krishna and Radharani. And I keep, and we have, and the beautiful sloka that I heard recently, which was really such an amazing thing, where the Shastras, they say, Radha Krishna eki atma dehi duhi dehadari anyone bela se rasha ashwadana kari. Radha and Krishna, the eki atma, but they appear in two different divine spiritual bodies in a loving, transcendental, living relationship with each other. So we have to understand that Radharani is actually the Hladini Shakti of Krishna manifesting in the form of Radharani, and one of the greatest devotees of Krishna. So like that, Krishna is when he appears on this material world, we have Radharani, the highest devotee, always serving Krishna. And Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? This is the most popular sloka. Everybody is aware about it. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Abhjutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrajamyaham. From time to time, whenever there is a decline in the religious principles and religious practices, and there is a decline in the religious activities, and that is when Krishna says that he appears. And paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna says mainly he comes for two purposes. One is for the love of his devotees, for the divine pastimes with his devotees, to protect his devotees, and second thing is to annihilate and put an end to all the demonic people. And he's clearly mentioning over here that he's appeared on this planet just to annihilate the demonic people. We have all discussed the beginning of Krishna Katha, that the reason why Krishna comes on this planet is because Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she cries and goes to Brahma, crying that there is too much of burden of these demoniac people on this material planet. Please come and do something. Please come and help. So that is when Brahma is praying, and that's how we have Krishna coming onto this planet to put an end to all these demoniac people, which is what Krishna is kind of telling here to Muchukunda, that about the reason why he has come. And even the great sages, like, they in the meditation in Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga, they used to meditate for thousands of years, and they used to get the visions of Krishna, so many different attributes of Krishna. And that's how we have this Vishnu Sahasranamam, right? The 1,000 names of Vishnu Sahasranamam. All these 1,000 names, they have come as visions in the minds of the great rishis who are actually meditating on Krishna or Vishnu. And those names came to the rishis, and those rishis given all these names, different attributes and different qualities of Krishna, which they came in the vision, they gave to Vedavyas, and Vedavyas gave it to Bhishma Pitamaha. So in that way, Krishna here is saying he's got unlimited names, forms, and activities. And we all know Krishna is known by so many names. Rishikesha, Madhava, and Keshava, like that, so many different beautiful names that he has, isn't it? So he's mentioned, like as I was just telling a minute back, I have been invited for this purpose by Brahma to come and appear, and that's how he happens to come onto this planet. And he appeared in this as a son of Vasudeva of the Yadu dynasty. And again, that's also a history, because the parents of Krishna, they are also a great devotees who spent so many thousands of years meditating on Krishna, and finally Krishna appeared as their son. Similarly, Kamsa also. So we can see that so many people from different religious traditions who believe that there is only one life. We can understand through the Krishna Katha, there is the concept of reincarnation. We understand the knowledge of reincarnation that is happening here. Even you can see that even Kamsa, who was in his previous life, was known as Kalanemi, as well as Pralambasura and other demons. So all these, even demons also, they are coming from life to life, from life after the life, right? Um, in fact, in um, Natvevaaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamataha param. The very first thing Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna was asking him, please explain to me what is the right thing to do. I'm so confused. I do not know what to do. That's when Krishna starts by saying, Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa. He's saying, Arjuna, all these people you see on this battlefield, Arjuna, don't think that this is only one life. All these people on the battlefield, they had millions of lives before this. And now you're seeing on this battlefield and you're thinking they're going to be killed and they're going to be ending their life. But no, only the body is temporary and they're going to die. But again, the soul is going to incarnate again into many different type bodies. So in future also they're going to have many lives. So here you can see Kamsa also was previously had a life. And now again he came in the form of Kamsa, and now he's been killed by Krishna. So like that, even everybody is reincarnating from time to time. And you can see that even Muchukonda, who was actually, so Krishna is telling Muchukonda has forgotten that he's a devotee of Krishna. He's seeing Krishna and he's saying, who's this beautiful Foram Narayan appearing in front of, are you a demigod or a some god from some superior heavenly planets or something? Because he's so amazed to see the aura of Krishna Bhagavan. But even though Muchukonda has forgotten that he was a devotee of Krishna in his previous life, but Krishna remembered that he is his devotee. So you can see Krishna Bhakti is so powerful and so auspicious that even if we do a little bit of thing for Krishna, a little bit of seva for Krishna, Krishna will never forget that seva. And Prabhupada used to say, Krishna has an accountant, and he is always keeping an account of every small thing that we do for Krishna. Neha Bikramanasosti Pratyavayona Vidyate Swalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahadava. Even if you do a little bit of seva, a lot of people think, oh, do I have to become a monk? Do I have to become this? Or do I have to do somersault? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? But Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Swalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya. Even if you do a little bit of service for Krishna, Krishna becomes pleased. Like even the process of chanting, when you're chanting, what we are telling you, we're praying to Krishna, please engage us in your divine service. Even doing that piety, that particular beautiful, auspicious thing attracts the love of Krishna, and Krishna will never forget that. This devotee has chanted for me in this life. I'm going to remember even in my life. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani ki Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashchana. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, I know everything that has happened in the past. So Krishna is telling indirectly that he knows all our lives in our previous life. I know everything that has happened in the past. I know everything that is right now happening in your life. And I also know what is going to happen in future in your life. And I also know what's going to happen in your next life as well. But me, and I know every Jivatma I know, Arjuna. But me, nobody knows. So because why we do not know? Because we are all covered by these three gunas of Rajoguna, Sattoguna, and Tamoguna. We are covered by this Maya. So we cannot understand Krishna on this material platform. So we have to elevate our consciousness by, practicing Krishna consciousness, by chanting the holy name. Only then Krishna will reveal himself. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is not something to like, we mug up our books before the exam starts. We used to mug up our books and just try to remember before the exam. So that's not the process. Spiritual process works in a different way. As we keep chanting, as we keep serving Krishna, Krishna slowly starts revealing himself. So here we can see that even though Muchukunda has forgotten, he's saying, I am very affectionately inclined towards my devotees. And in your previous life, before this condition, you acted as my great devotee and prayed for my causeless mercy. So Krishna has remembered that what he has done in his previous life, and now he's giving him the benediction. So now he's saying, you can see me to the heart's content. See, he gave a direct darshan. And this reminds me, right, even for Dhruv Maharaj, that he did the same thing, isn't it? For Dhruv Maharaj also, what happened? When Dhruv Maharaj did such serious penances, such serious meditation, mantra meditation, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, the whole world came to a standstill. That's the kind of a powerful chanting that he was doing. And finally, Krishna appeared in front of him with Dhruv Maharaj, and he said, like, okay, Dhruv Maharaj, now I answer your prayer. Now you please tell me, my child, what do you want? And then Dhruv Maharaj, then he realized that Krishna, after seeing you in person, I have realized that instead of even a diamond like you is there in front of me, all these 6 months I have been doing all this tapas and meditation just for some broken glass pieces, just for a kingdom, which is just like a broken glass pieces. So he's comparing that he was meditating for a kingdom because he wanted his father's kingdom. And then when Krishna appeared, he realized what a foolish thing that I'm praying for. I'm praying for some broken glass pieces when a diamond like you is in front of me. So all of us, because we do not have the nectar of the joy of seeing Krishna in front of us, like how Dhruv Maharaj has seen, how Muchukunda has seen, we are praying for so many tiny things. Just there's no point praying like, okay, can you give me one BMW car? Can you give me another beautiful house? All these things are going to you go away over a period of time. All these things are temporary. But Krishna is giving more than what demigods cannot give. He's saying that I will. Earlier, if you remember in the earlier paragraph where Kartikeya was telling Muchukunda that Muchukunda, I can give you any benediction, but don't ask me for liberation. Mukti, don't ask me because Mukti is in the hands of Vishnu or Krishna. Only they can give you. Yes, we can give you some temporary things. Yeah, if you want to have a long sleep for many hundreds of years, yes, granted, we'll give you. But we can't grant you like mukti and liberation and all that. That is in hands of Krishna only. So now that Supreme Bhagavan, Sri Krishna himself, is asking, now you tell me like I'm prepared to fulfill your desire. Tell me what do you want? Anyone should come to under my shelter must have his all desires fulfilled by my grace. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamiham. So what is Krishna? What does that mean? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, according to your level of surrender, I also reciprocate accordingly. If you think I'm a statue, I will remain as a statue for you. But if you think this is a Archa Vigraha, incarnation of Krishna, then I will respond in the form of Archa Vigraha. So like that, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling, and so here through this beautiful Krishna Katha, we can understand that Krishna is constantly reciprocating to his devotees. This is the essence of what we should understand from Krishna Katha. Ananyas Yanto ma ye jana pariyapachate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogashemam vahamyaham. Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying, one who's always meditating upon me, one who's always engaging in bhakti towards me, one who's always chanting my names. Krishna says, for them, I preserve what they have and I give them what they lack, and I will take care of the welfare of you and your family as well. Like the chanting delivers up to so many generations of our ancestors just by chanting our name. This is the best thing that we could do for our ancestors as well, because they'll all be liberated as well. So here you can see that Krishna is so merciful that he's asking Muchukunda, just ask me what you want and I will fulfill the desires. Even though Muchukonda was not asking for anything, he was just trying to know who Krishna is. But Krishna is so kind that he remembered Muchukonda, that Muchukonda was his pure devotee. And now in this life, he's asking, please tell me what you want. And he tells Arjuna also, like, Arjuna, you have forgotten all our previous lives. Arjuna asks, right? Because when Krishna says, I told Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivaswan, Arjuna asks, like, Krishna, how am I supposed to believe that you told Bhagavad Gita to the sun god? How am I supposed to believe? Then Krishna says, Arjuna, you and me have passed so many lives. I remember all of our lives, but you cannot remember all this because he's covered by the Yoga Maya, by the Maya, but he not Krishna. So Krishna, everything is crystal clear about our past and our present life as well. May I request anyone else, maybe to cover this beautiful nectar as well? Anyone would like to read this next one? Ramlal Prabhuji, would you like to read?
Yeah,
Hare
Hare
Then
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Pranam. Then would Pranam.
yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can I read Prabhuji?
Ramlal Prabhu was responding, Varun Prabhu.
Okay, okay,
Is
Prabhuji.
it okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Just
Prabhuji.
after that? Yeah, next one? Okay, yeah.
Okay, okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
When Lord Krishna ordered King Muchakunda to ask a benediction from him, the king was joyful and he immediately remembered the prediction of Gargamuni, who had foretold long before that in the 28th millennium of Vivesana Manu, Lord Krishna would appear on this planet. As soon as he remembered this prediction, he understood that the Supreme Person Narayana was present before him as Lord Krishna. He immediately fell down at his lotus feet and began to pray as follows. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. That was beautiful. You just started giving the opening of another wonderful thing of King Muchukonda, kind of like so you see, these are the things, right? You have demoniac people and then you have divine people. So we can understand here that even though Muchukonda was given this benediction that when he opens his eyes and anybody who is disturbed that you could burn them to ashes, but that was just a benediction that was given. But basically Muchukonda was someone who was even fighting on behalf of the demigod because the demigods had requested him to fight for them. So you can imagine how powerful he was, that he was ready to even fight for the demigods. And so it really shows that he had a very divine nature by him. And now we can see that he's so happy that finally he's understanding. Gargamuni was actually, he was very close to Vasudeva also earlier. Also, we gave the prediction about Krishna and all. So we can see that he's remembering now what Gargamuni has mentioned, that he's Lord and Narayana was present here in form of Krishna. So he's fallen on his feet and now he's going to offer his prayers. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Varun Prabhu, you want to just read this one?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
One second, sorry. 'Cause 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 My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I can understand that all living entities on this planet are illusioned by your external energy and enamored of the illusory satisfaction of sense gratification. Being fully engaged in illusory activities, they are reluctant to worship your lotus feet. And because they are unaware of the benefits of surrendering onto your lotus feet, they are subjected to various miserable conditions of material existence. They are foolishly attached to so-called society, friendship, and love, which merely produce different kinds of miseries. Illusioned by your eternal energy, everyone, whether man or woman, is attached to this material existence, and and all are engaged in cheating one another in a great society of cheaters and the cheated. These foolish persons, not knowing how fortunate they are to have obtained this human form of life, are reluctant to worship, are reluctant to worship your lotus feet. By the influence of your by the influence of your external energy, they are attached to the glare of material activities, to so-called society, friendship, and love. Like dumb animals that have fallen into a dark well, the example of dark well is given because in the field there are many wells, unused for years and covered over by grass, and poor animals, not knowing of them, fall into them and, unless rescued, they die. Being captivated by a few blades of grass, the animals fall into the dark well and meet death. Similarly, foolish persons, without knowing the importance of human form of life, spoil spoil it simply for the sense of gratification and die without any useful purpose.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is wonderful because one thing we can see in Krishna Katha, right, which I have observed is that in the last few chapters also we can see most of the people, like you take Uddhava and you take Akrura and all the different personalities that are part of Krishna Katha, all of them are so spiritually, so knowledgeable. Kunti Devi, like, and everyone we mentioned in touch, they had such kind of divine knowledge. We remember like how Vasudeva, when he was Kamsa was trying to kill his own sister and his child, and then how was there was kind of like constantly kind of like giving him some spiritual gyan about how life is temporary and how important is spiritual life and things like that. So we can understand, unlike sometimes we believe that okay, we have advanced and come a long way. Actually, we feel that Kali Yuga is the lowest kind of in terms of the yogas, where people are like so dull-witted, in so much of hypocrisy and so much of ignorance and things like that. And but in Dwapara Yuga, in Satya Yuga, and Treta Yuga, people were so knowledgeable. They had a longer life. They had spiritually higher knowledge and things like that. So here we can see that even Muchikonda was. Was kind of mentioning to the my dear Lord that all these living entities are illusioned by their external energy. In the beginning of the chapter, we just talking about in the beginning before we started this, I was telling about like independence. The actual independence is about that coming out of the clutches of this mission of this material energy called Maya, coming out of this Maya. That's the real independence. And here, that's the point that Prabhupada was mentioning. Actually, the real independence is to come out of this the clutches of this material energy, because we are just like puppets in the hands of this material energy. And that material energy in the hands of Krishna. So only by the mercy of Krishna we can rise and transcend these three gunas. And so here we can see Muchukanda is so knowledgeable that he's saying that all these living entities, they are illusioned by your external energy, which is the Maya, and they are, by the illusionary satisfaction of sense gratification. So Krishna, and this reminds me that what Krishna was saying actually in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya parhridachetasa vyavasayatmika buddhi samadau navidiyate. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita the reason why we are not getting this Krishna Bhakti, why we are not able to have Krishna Bhakti is because we have filled our mind, our consciousness, and our life is full of sense gratification. We are filled of material enjoyment, sense gratification. We have filled our consciousness with full of these things, and that's the reason why Krishna says when you're so attached to this material opulences and sense gratification, the desire for Krishna Bhakti will not arise. So unless something, that's the reason why you see many people when they are hit badly in their life and when their lives are so broken, they'll be like so badly upset that they want to just look for some higher purpose of life and then they can take to spirituality and things like that. Because as long as you are enjoying this material energy and as long as you're enjoying in this material world, the mind to go and take part in Krishna Bhakti and all these things doesn't take place. In fact, many times when people who are non-devotees or something like when they look at Krishna conscious devotees, they keep asking, why do you guys most of the time always chanting Krishna's name? Why do you guys always keep engaging in some bhakti, some kirtan and all these things? Why are you always doing that? They don't understand. They think it's normal to go and do sense enjoyment and material opulences, but they think that why are we crazily doing Krishna Bhakti? Why do you constantly keep serving in the temple, going and doing kirtans? What do you guys do get by doing all these things? Not at this age. You should do it when you are retired, kind of thing. So that's the kind of because they're all covered by these three gunas, the sattva guna and rajoga and tamo guna. So it doesn't allow them to even think. Nisaya vini vedante niraharasya dehinaha rasavajyam rasopasya param drishtva nivartate. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says we will, as long as we are contaminated in our consciousness by all this material enjoyment and material opulence sense enjoyment, that the bhakti will not come. But when we get a taste of Krishna Bhakti, when we get a higher taste of Krishna Bhakti by associating with the devotees or making friends with the monks in the temple, or in some way, if we get in touch, somehow we come in touch with some devotees, and when we get a taste of the Krishna Prasad, and when we get a taste of how beautiful and joyful the Krishna Kirtans are, when we get a taste of all that, then we will be able to understand the difference and slowly we start elevating our consciousness. And then we will understand that what we've been enjoying in this material world, so it is actually something very temporary. In fact, even the demigods, Krishna tells, like people who are whose mind is stolen by material desires, they go to the demigods asking for temporary things, but they're all temporary things, and the life is going to come to an end. But what Krishna is always promising is his own Krishna Bhakti. He's promising himself. He's saying that I will give myself to you when you practice Krishna Bhakti. I want you to come back to the Krishna Loka. The very purpose of Krishna coming and giving this Bhagavad Gita is to invite all of us to understand how a higher purpose or a higher identity, that we are not these normal human beings. We have a higher identity, that we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Bhagavan Sri Krishna, that we as Jivatmas, we belong to the Paramatma. Mamaivam sa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashastri and indriyani prakriti stani karshati. Where Krishna says, you are all part and parcel of me. All you jivatmas, you have a higher identity that you belong to me, but you have fallen into this world. Just like this example of a dark well, you have fallen into this material world. And so now you are conditioned by these three gunas and we've fallen into this dark well. So you're not able to understand the higher purpose or what is your actual identity. So this chanting of the holy names is a mechanism, a process to pull us out of this dark well, so that we can, when you come out of this dark well, then we will be able to see clearly everything. Because right now, the example is given so beautifully that we are right now enjoying all these different material activities, so-called society, friendship, and everything. Doesn't None of these things will last. None of us will be. We all remember when we started our life, we had a different set of friends. We were in college, but those they just last for a certain time, and then we move on, and then we have another set of friends. So like that, these people are always coming in. It's just like a train journey. People come into our lives and they leave. Again, they come into our life and these are all temporary. Even the material opulences, they come and go. But Krishna is saying that you have a higher purpose, you have a higher identity. So here, even Muchukunda was so clever. He was so spiritually he was inclined that he was able to understand that because of this material energy of Krishna, which is run by Durga Devi, that all of them, they're engaged in cheating each other in a general society. Because, this is what happens, right? Everybody wants somebody else because so that they want to be happy about it. There's no something like genuine, one very few we can find. But the beauty about Krishna Bhakti is that when you are in association of devotees also have this desire that I would like to share Krishna Bhakti with this person so that this person also can be part of us, part of our Sangha, right? All of us, we have the desire. How can we invite other people to our Sangha? Because Just like how material people want us to go and enjoy with them by going to a movie or a theaters or go and have some fun. Similarly, devotees of Krishna Bhakti also having this desire that how can I just bring these people into Krishna Bhakti and how can I just share this Krishna Bhakti with other people as well. And but we are also conditioned, but this is conditioned by the divine love of Krishna, which is what is very important in this love. So here we can see that a beautiful example has been given just by the grass. Sometimes the well is filled with all this because a well is not being used, and so it is being covered by grass. And sometimes the animals, while just walking around across the field, they may land up falling into this dark well and they meet with the death. So similarly, foolish people may not understand the purpose of human life, that this human life is meant for Krishna Bhakti. This human life is meant for austerity, for penances, and for all these things. Janmantara Sahasreshu Tapodana Samadvihi Naranam Sheena Punyanam Krishna Bhakte Prajayate, where it is mentioned that after many, many lives of doing pious activities, after doing so much of charity, doing so many auspicious things, finally you get a life which is along taking us to Krishna Bhakti. So all of us, we are listening to this Krishna Katha, which means that all of us would have practiced immense Krishna Bhakti in our previous life. We must have done so much of charity. We must have done so many auspicious things in our previous life that Krishna has given us this benediction that in this life, I am going to engage you in my service and I'm going to just give you. And this is the way Krishna is reciprocating by pulling all of us in the Sangha. We listen to Krishna Katha so that we can develop a more personal, loving relationship with Krishna. Krishna wants us to understand more of this Krishna Katha so that we develop a personal, one-on-one relationship with Krishna. And this is the need of the hour in today's mad world that we're living in, where there's so much of anxiety about your jobs and about your life. We do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. But when we engage in Krishna Bhakti, there is a certain sense of confidence, there's a certain sense of peace in our mind. Bhoktaram Yajanatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Dhyatamam Shanti Vrichate, where we can get a Krishna saying the peace formula is when you can understand, we'll be able to have peace of mind when we understand that Bhagavan Sri Krishna is our best well-wisher and our best friend. So it is time to make friends with Bhagavan Sri Krishna by listening to these personal stories and knowing more about Krishna and engaging in bhakti life with Krishna. After 8.4 million transmigration of souls, finally we get a human life. How precious is human life, which is what Muchukunda is trying to tell us, that human life is so precious that out of 8.4 million lifetimes we get transmigration of life, we get a human life. And we're simply wasting that by engaging in sense gratification. So I would like to pause over here for today because it is 9 o'clock past 9, and I just being respectful towards all of your personal your time, and you're given more than an hour over here for Krishna Katha, which is so, for me, I feel so blessed that you have all your association and to be able to even take part in this Krishna Katha along with everyone. So thank you, and I would just want to open for any realizations, any comments or anything. Please, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I'm just curious when Mother Earth went to Brahma to relieve this the papas, that is overflowing on Mother Earth. So usually Brahma goes to Vishnu, right? In this case, he goes to Krishna. So just wanted to be a little curious why there is a difference.
Yeah, I mean, again, Krishna is again an expansion, isn't it? It's very interesting because I think the way the transmission happens between Brahma and Vishnu also, when Brahma is kind of transmitting to the sound waves of like how his prayers and transmitting like the request that has been come from Bhumi Devi. And that's when he prays in the shore of the ocean, he's praying to Vishnu. And then again, when Krishna comes also like once Keshu Maharaj also kind of mentioned, like if you take in terms of avatars and all that, we can say that, okay, because all the incarnations come through Vishnu, we even say that, okay, as an avatar that has come from Vishnu, but through Bhagavatam, we all understand that everything is an expansion of Krishna. So here in this case, again, Krishna, he's personally come in as a reciprocation. And again, I think there could be many reasons also because Vasudeva and they also prayed that they wanted to have Krishna as his son as well. So for multiple reasons. That again, when Krishna descends, also we know through the Krishna Katha that all his expansions come along with him. In fact, Krishna comes for the love of his devotees, but the killing business of all these things again is done by the Vishnu Tattva. So again, so there's it's an expansion only. Again, it's all Krishna. When if you really look at overall how this whole thing is happening, it's all Krishna and Krishna's expansion, one form or the other, the planetary expansion.
Thank you.
That's what my understanding, Prabhu. Ramnath Prabhuji, any comments or any corrections?
No, I don't have anything to say tonight. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Vrindavan Das Prabhu, Ramlal Prabhu. Is there anything that you want to mention? Ajay Prabhu, Ashwin Prabhu, Varun Prabhu. Any Prabhu,
Nothing
any-
from my side.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Prabhu, that
Ashwin Prabhu.
we are planning the Krishna Katha, Krishna's or appearance day for the kids for the Janmashtami. This is actually the first act where Bhumi prays to Brahma, and then Brahma goes to Krishna. But when I wrote the script, everybody started saying, "But how can they go to Krishna? He's not born yet." Because they do not know the true story. So I had to correct it to Vishnu, and then they said, "Okay, now it is fine." I think for them it is a big leap to understand that. So I had to adjust it to
Yeah.
Krishna. Just thought about
Yeah.
that right now.
A very nice point you mentioned, Ashwin Prabhu, because sometimes, when Prabhupada also explains certain things, when people say demigod and all that, people immediately get alarmed. What do you mean? What do you mean Brahma is demigod? What do you mean by,
Yes.
well, demigod? But actually, what Prabhupada is trying to do is, Prabhupada is trying to get the message across that they are not full forms, they don't have the full
Yeah.
tattva,
Yeah.
that they're all in the position that they're, and that's the reason why even in the Shastras and all, we see when you say Krishna, we say Devadi Deva, he's the god of all the demigods. So in a way that he's like the supreme, because in Krishna explains all the people who worship the Devatas, Upadevatas, they go to the planet of Upadevatas, but the people who
Yeah.
worship me come directly to my supreme planet. So there is, as you mentioned, Prabhu, there are people in different level of consciousness, but sometimes it's okay to adjust and explain to them. Sometimes just because as long as they can,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
take into Krishna Bhakti, that's why we should find some way in which we can bring them to
Yeah.
Krishna Bhakti, Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
But
thank you.
just reflecting on that, actually in the beginning you mentioned about just listening to Krishna Katha, right? So when we are actually practicing the rehearsals for the Krishna act, for those 10 kids, there are 10 parents standing over there, and I can see their faces, like they're so, like, they're not on their phones, they're just listening into the story, so even if they know the story, and it is so captivating. I just wanted to reflect on that.
Yeah, definitely, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I think all of us this is the beauty about Asian Prabhu. This is the difference between way Sanatan Dharma and many other religious traditions. This is a religion of Sanatan Dharma. It's a religion of realization, self-realization. That's the most important thing is God realization. That here it's not about blind belief. It's not about blind, following a book, but trying to introspect, trying to assimilate, trying to understand, realize how precious is it that when you, like as you said, listening to all this beautiful Krishna Katha, it makes your heart happy, it makes your
Yeah.
soul peaceful, because the soul is part of the super soul. Jivatma is
Yeah.
part of Paramatma, and this is what the Atma wants to listen. So that's the reason why we had to be very, very clear
Yeah.
what makes your soul happy, what makes your senses happy. Many times we are only satisfying our senses and thinking that we are happy, but no, only your senses are happy. You're not happy. Who you are Atma, and what Atma wants always wants Paramatma. So when we are
Yeah.
listening to stories of Paramatma, your Atma is actually happy. Your soul is very happy because this is what the soul is dying for. It is craving for, just like a child is always craving for a mother. Atma is always craving for the Paramatma. So yeah, beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you. I like realizations. I like, because we see that happening in even when you come to the even
Yeah.
Mandir also, like when people come and see, when you see their faces, so much of anxiety they have, but when they come into the Krishna temple, they are like totally in a different mood. They'll be
Yeah.
singing, they'll be humming
Yeah.
the kirtan.
Yeah.
So this is
And in the
this is
first,
what.
yeah, in the first practice session, I saw that so many kids were on their phones. But we are on today. We did the third practice session. Nobody even touched their phones.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
like teenagers not touching phone for 2 hours is like a big victory.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Prabhuji. Instead of scolding them, don't use the phone. If you engage in them something like this,
Krishna
Krishna
Katha,
Katha,
yeah.
they themselves will take it. And after that, I seen
Exactly.
Prabhuji, we just have to give them the platform because children are so smart these days. We
Yeah,
just have to channelize their energy into Krishna,
yeah.
into Bhakti life. And then you will see that they can assimilate and they can kind of like absorb much, much faster than even we can actually. Because
Yeah.
I seen one of my friend's daughter. She was asked a question about Hinduism, and the mother was telling me like how her daughter answered. I was like amazed because they are so smart. The children are so smart. We just need to give them the right platform, and we need to just put them onto the right track. And you can
Yes.
see that how they will absorb it and they will stand so strong. Because how long can we be with our children? We can't be all the time. But if we
Mm.
give them this knowledge will make them very, very strong. Because I'm telling you, the outside social media is so horrible, so nasty towards Sanatan Dharma that
Yeah.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you be strong, stand up and fight. And this is what it is. We have to be strong. We have to be united. That's the most important thing. We all have to be as part of Sanatan Dharma. We are so fortunate. We have Prabhupada as a disciple, like Ramnath Prabhu. We just take this knowledge, we assimilate this knowledge, and we have to just be strong and support with each other. Be united. United we stand, divided we fall. And in today's material world, even more important. When we stand together, we can accomplish a lot more through this Krishna Bhakti also. Because as as what is finally Sanjaya saying, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Pardo Dhanurdhara. Tatra Shri Vijayabhuti Dhruva Nitirmatir Mama. Wherever there is Bhagavan Sri Krishna and wherever there is a devotee of Krishna, there is going to be auspiciousness, there is going to be victory. So with that faith we just move forward. Amoga Prabhu, is, I think, yeah, that is, yeah, I think maybe he would have some work. Yeah, if there's no further comments on this, I would like to thank everyone. I feel so humble having your presence and your association. So wonderful on a Thursday. We are able to meet like this and share about Krishna Katha. Couple of weeks, and we are there in Krishna Janmashtami, and I will be there in the Goshala doing Go Puja myself in Nagaraj Prabhu. So please, if you're coming, please come and say hi to us. We'll be serving. We'll be happy to do Go Puja for you as well. That's my service. It's going to be for this Janmashtami. So hopefully we'll all see each other, and next Thursday we'll be again meeting for the remaining part of Krishna Katha. And hope everybody has enjoyed. And thanks for sharing, Arshin Prabhu. And like I would request everyone, if they have anything that you want to share, by all means, please share your realizations as well. You're all one spiritual family of Krishna.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. It was very nice, wonderfully you explained everything nicely. And this is the Leela. We have to
Yes.
remember this is a Krishna is unborn and we are eternal. So there was no time we does not exist. We did not exist, but we are existing from eternal time. And whatever our activities, whatever our thinking, whatever our thought, everything Krishna knows. So we can do our service through our mind, body, and our words. So everything is important. So we have to remember him, and Krishna will reciprocate that. So we have to end. Hare Krishna.
That was wonderful to close and realization for all of us, Damodar Prabhu.
Hare
Very
Krishna,
nice.
please. Yeah,
Prabhuji.
thank you. Thank you. Please,
Hare
if there is nothing more, then everyone unmute and say 3 times loud horrible for Prabhuji. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. We'll meet next Thursday.
Thank you,
Hare
Sam Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
Krishna.